All right, good evening, everyone. How do you feel about taking a quick look at the minutes, everyone? Has everyone had a chance to peek?
Yep.
Yep.
All right, I looked at them. I have no issues. If they're okay with everybody else, can I have a motion to accept?
I'll move.
A second? Andy?
I don't think I was at that meeting.
Oh, that's right. No, yeah, we added you. You were at that meeting. We remember seeing those lovely windows behind you.
Okay.
That was our first Zoom meeting.
Yep.
Okay. I was. I'll second that.
And all in favor? We're all good. Also, by the way, on those minutes, we have deleted Lou Kingsley because he was only on for a short period of time, was not able to take part in the discussions or the votes. So that aside, shall we? Hi, Glenn. Do you have any new information for us for Riverview?
I do not. Frankly, we just haven't gotten through that additional work on that plan. So I really just signed on to tell you that. I don't have much to add.
Okay, very good. See you at next month's meeting.
Yes, you will.
That sounds definitive. Okay, Mountain Brook Drive. Mr. Johnson? Jason?
So we got the health department approval today, and that's the same plan that you have. They approved that. It has all the monitoring. It has all the monitoring, the current drain monitoring plan on it. So you have all that information. We have the fully executed maintenance agreement from Scenic Hudson, or I'm sorry, Slopeline LLC. And so we're ready to go. We got I don't know what else there. I mean, I think we did everything that was asked of us regarding access. I don't think there was any issue with the actual construction as far as I know.
Okay, I have a map that came in my packet. Sheet 1 of 1, freshwater wetlands permanent curtain drain monitoring plan. I guess that's what you just referred to as the monitoring plan, correct?
Right.
I am, unfortunately, we're so stunted here. It would be great if you could explain what's on there because I'm just not seeing it. But if everyone else is okay with just the general principle, because I think the concept was you got an easement across you know what I'm trying to say, and I'm stumbling here, but you got an easement to get in there without having to build the road. Does that mean Max and I were talking just briefly about it. That means you do not need to do the stream crossing at this time. Is that correct?
That's correct.
So the intention is now to get in there using that easement and do the curtain drain, see if you can dry it out. And that will trigger the next step, what you guys do, whether it's the sewage treatment or the septic will work. Am I understanding?
That's correct. So either we install the curtain drain, hopefully it works. If it doesn't, we're going to have to explore the possibility of a treatment plant,
Right.
like we have over at Guinan's at
Right.
Dallas. It's the same exact system.
Right.
It'll be half the size. We'd have one unit. It would be a lot less. But essentially it's the same unit.
Okay.
So, so we're using all of the existing maintenance roads that are existing that go up to the dam from Mountain Brook Drive.
Right. Does anybody have any questions or comments on this one, Andy? Or
No, I mean, I think that you were able to get the right of way is great. And hopefully the curtain drain method will work.
Yeah.
It's a great, great result so far.
All right. And Max, do you have any comments?
Yeah, I guess Jason, I guess at this point, what would the conservation board be permitting? Or is there still work that's going to be occurring inside the wetland setback or a regulated area, or would this be essentially you're kind of updating the board with this plan at this point, and I can discuss with Greg more of an excavation and filling permit for the access to the curtain drain?
Yeah, I mean, essentially, we're still going to be driving through. We're still going to be driving through the buffer area with heavy equipment, and we are going to need to install erosion and sediment control, which is going to be installed within the buffer.
Okay.
So we're still going to be driving down a muddy path in the buffer. We still need erosion and sediment control, and then the actual discharge pipe is going to be at the little
Right.
the outlet riprap apron is going to be in the buffer, just a small portion of it, because we have to get underneath the existing. We have to get underneath the pipe has to be low enough to get underneath the existing gravel road in order to, so that we're not discharging the curtain drain the groundwater back onto the ground surface over the road. So we want to get it underneath the road. So it's essentially the permit is essentially going to be for installing erosion and sediment control in the buffer, and also the riprap apron, which in and of itself is permanent erosion and sediment control.
Okay.
So it's just basically the curtain drain discharge.
Okay.
All right. Any other?
Yeah, I have nothing else, I guess, on that, Mark.
Yeah,
All
Jason,
right.
I did have a question because I'm just looking at my notes. I didn't see a scale for the larger map on the top of the sheet. What is that?
That's a 30 scale.
Okay.
Let me see here.
Okay.
Let me just.
Yeah, it's funny. The map I have is a 1 in 2,000 scale.
No, that's just the corner map.
Okay.
Yeah, I could not find, and I was just curious.
Yeah, you know what? I think with all the details I put on there, it got covered up in the plan view, but it's a 30 scale. I'll revise that plan or to put the scale on there.
Okay.
All righty. Crystal, do you have any comments? Okay, I got it. I got the head shake.
Thanks.
All right, well then, can I have a motion to approve the permit for them to proceed with the curtain drain?
I'll make the motion.
Second,
Second,
all in favor?
Aye.
aye.
Okay, it's unanimous. There you have it.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Jace. Garrison Game Club? That's Mark, I believe, right?
Yes, I'm here. Thank you. How are
Hi,
you, Mark?
Mark. I understand that you have, hi there. I understand you guys have you've got a letter that's saying that DEC has received all your papers and they are reviewing. Is that correct?
Basically, what we received is a notice of complete application, which means that they are satisfied with the application. The public review period is on at the moment. The letter of notice that we have to provide was put in the paper. An affidavit of advertisement is being given to DEC. And as soon as that is received, they will be issuing the permit, yes. So we're basically finally through the DEC process.
All right, so you're on hold until they get back to you and then I guess.
Not really on hold. We're as soon as they receive the affidavit, they will issue the permit.
All right, so that means you are on hold until they get back to you. Once you have the permit from them, you need to produce that to Max, and then he will issue the permit from us promptly.
That's fine. I mean, you automatically get it, they copy you.
Okay, Max?
If we, would you like to issue and vote on a permit tonight, or would you like to wait until he produces the permit to vote on us, the town, producing a permit?
Again, quite frankly, I'm a member of the club, so my opinion would be clearly to expedite, but I don't want to speak out of turn. Whatever you guys think. I mean, I would be perfectly happy to do a conditional permit at this point, pending your receipt, Max, of the DEC permit.
Are you comfortable with that, Max?
Yeah, as long as everybody's in agreement.
All right, well, let's put it to a vote so that I can see a show of hands. What does everybody think? Everybody in favor?
I'm for it.
Fine here.
Yep, fine here.
All right, let her rip.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Okay, Mark, when you do receive it,
Yes, sir.
when you do receive the permit, we just need to have it sent to us in duplicate, so we can put one of the copies in the building file. And then you should have your permit from the town within like a week or so from then.
Okay, so whom should it be sent to?
You can send it to my attention at the building department,
Okay, that's fine.
and then Kelly will receive it.
And you want 2 copies?
Yes, please. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. And then you can, I mean, I'm perfectly fine with a PDF copy from you guys.
Yeah, when the permit from us, we need a signature on it, and then it to be sent back to us, and then the permit becomes validated.
Okay.
So we'll get that to you.
Okay, and usually what happens is I receive the permit, they do want to start it as soon as possible. So I assume that once you receive it in your office, I know that you're not actually, everyone's in their offices these days. That will be a quick turnaround time.
Yeah, like I said, it'll be like within a week,
Okay.
5 days.
That's fine. I have to give DEC 7-day notice anyway, so that's perfect. That works.
Yep.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thanks, Mark.
Stay well, everybody. Thank you.
All right. Cloud Bank, I believe that's Beth.
Yes, good evening.
Hi, Beth. I understand that Max came out and did a walk around. I don't know if anybody else did. I unfortunately did not have the opportunity, but I did talk to Max about what he saw, and it sounds as though it is a straightforward project and we should allow it to go. Does anybody else have comments on that? All right, well, if not, Max, it's your opinion, I think, that we should go ahead and issue this permit. So can I have a motion?
Yeah, I think we should do again a conditional permit, unless Beth, you can notify us otherwise in terms of I think you said you were still in the process of getting your DEC permits as well.
We're still waiting.
Or Army Corps.
That's correct. We're still
Okay.
waiting for them to take action on our application, but having your at least conditional approval, I think, will help that process forward.
Okay. Yeah. So Mark, just like the last application, we can vote on a conditional permit, and then Beth can send me the copies of the DEC permit, final copies of the permit, and then we can issue ours.
Okay, there you have it, everyone. So can I have a motion to vote on that to allow that conditional permit?
So move.
A second?
I'll second it.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
There you go.
Thank you very much.
Yes, ma'am.
Bob agrees. Sorry, I was late.
Hello, good evening, sir. How are you?
Sorry, I was having technical problems. I couldn't find the email with the link. Thanks, Max.
Yeah, no problem.
I went to my calendar expecting it to be in the calendar like every other meeting I have. So I was like, oh my God, where's the meeting?
Well, it's been an easy meeting so far. All right,
Okay.
Max has had something from Lake Celeste that came in sort of late, so I'm not sure if it's on the agendas that you guys have, but Max, if you just want to pass us, it sounds pretty straightforward also.
Yeah, it's a similar project to what the Fish and Game Club was applying for a wetlands permit for. I don't know if Carl, if you're on the line here, if you want to give the board a run through. I spoke with Mark briefly about this application as well, and they have all their DEC permits in place currently. So essentially, they're just looking for permission from the town at this point. And like I said, the DEC issued the permits. So, I think this could be a pretty straightforward approval tonight and issuance of the permit. I don't know, Carl, are you on the line if you want to update the board at all on anything?
Yeah, I'm here. Yeah, basically, they just want to do some treatments of the invasive plants. They've got milfoil and fanwort, and it gets really bad, and it takes up most of the shallow areas, so they can't really use the lake for much that way. So that's pretty much the main goal of the project. And we got our permits from the DEC, and we will not be treating in any of the regulated wetland area according to the environmental resource mapper. So that was pretty straightforward with the state. And other than that, that's about it.
All right.
And Carl's a licensed applicator with the lake management company that's been hired to do the work. And I believe, and let me, correct me if I'm wrong, that they've been doing this work for a while, and we're just kind of catching up on the administrative process now to make sure they're also they're in compliance with the town's regulations. But I don't think this is something that they haven't done in the past. So I think the DEC's been in agreement with it in years prior to this.
All right. I mean, unless anybody disagrees, I think as usual, we just follow.
I have a few questions because, this is quite the herbicide cocktail. I don't have an issue with the Coutrine plus, basically a copper complex. Sonar, also not much of an issue with. I am a little bit interested in Clipper and how you're going to be applying it, because it is a group 14 herbicide. So it is a, significant chemical that if it got out of the lake would not really be wonderful. And since it's a granulated product, I'm sort of curious how you're applying it and mixing it within the lake.
Yeah, that's no problem. So basically, it's a granular, but it dissolves in water. So I have we have a tank set up that we have in our boats. So I dissolve it in there first, and then I have a hand sprayer that sprays it out. So we have a specific treatment area that is on the maps that we sent to the DEC, and they were fine with it. And part of their regulations is we actually have to hold the water for 5 days after we complete the treatment. And although it may be a group 14, it generally is out of the water in probably a day or two. It's pH dependent. So it degrades very rapidly and works very quickly. So honestly, after about the second day, I don't think that there would be any problems with reopening it, but that's just the restrictions that the state has in place.
So when you're saying hold the water, you're going to do it at a point where there's minimal outflow from the lake?
Yeah, so basically they hold the lake back for 5 days after I complete the treatment. And once that 5 days is up, they can release it. This year we'll have to do, because they have a few new regulations, we'll have to do water testing to confirm that it's below the drinking water restriction for anyone downstream before we can release it. But the rate that we'll be applying at and the acreage we'll be covering is a lot smaller than anything that would really be a big deal.
And roughly when do you think you're going to do this, time frame wise?
Well, I guess it depends on when we get approval for this permit, but I would be thinking it probably the last week of June.
Okay. Okay. Because, you know, from my limited knowledge of it, the product is really sort of works best on smaller plants.
The reason why we are using this product in particular is because of the fan wart that's there, and it's one of two products that work. It's either that or sonar, but based on the state regulations, it would be probably not as effective if we use the sonar, and we would have to do many more treatments, lots more sampling, and the flumioxazin is very effective at taking out the fan wart as well as the milfoil that's there.
And then the sonar for the HC4, you're using that for what, Eladia? And the like?
No, we will not be using that. That was kind of they had some new restrictions that they put in place, and that was kind of done as a backup plan if we weren't allowed to use the clipper.
Okay, so you're just using that in the copper complex to deal with the algae.
Yes, and
Okay.
depending on what happens after the plant treatment, we may or may not even need to use that.
Okay, fair enough.
All right. I mean, it does seem like a fairly straightforward one, but not to belabor it, but you made an interesting point, and that is that what if there was a huge rainfall right after it was applied and the dam was overtopped? So is there like a plan to drain down the dam to some extent and allow some capacity for flooding? Like the timing of it, you know what I mean?
Generally, as part of the permit, there is supposed to be some sort of drawdown. I don't think it's very significant for this lake.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, I try to pick as best I can to schedule a date that there isn't much rain in the forecast for the next few days following the treatment.
Right, right. Okay. That sounds good to me. What about you guys?
I'm okay.
All right.
Good.
Thanks, Jan. Max, so we're actually issuing the permit now. So can I have a motion to issue this permit as explained? Following the DEC permit, which they now have, to clarify.
I'll move.
Crystal?
A second. Yep.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Come on.
All right, thank you. So, yes.
Carl, I'll send that permit to your office probably early next week.
Okay, yeah, that works. Did I send you copies of the DEC permits?
Yeah, they're in your application.
Okay, I kind of thought I did. I don't remember what I do sometimes.
All right, have a good night.
Yep, thank you.
So, I guess the only other thing, if we should touch on it, and before we all run screaming, is do we have any stormwater stuff, Max, that we have to worry about?
No, we're kind of at a period now where this is the beginning of a new cycle for our annual work. So I guess the next thing would be when public meetings do resume. I believe that the town board would have a meeting to officially adopt the annual report for 2019. But yeah, that's about it. Yeah.
All right, and just so everybody knows, Max did get down and look at the Choi property down on Hudson River Lane down there, and everything looks fine. So they're proceeding.
Yeah, and I believe that they're going to be starting construction this week, and their contractor seems really reasonable and is willing to kind of go above and beyond any protection measures of the Hudson, even beyond maybe what the plan states, because it's kind of an evolving process. I guess the installation of that thing, or the dock itself, and the head wall. So he gave me his assurances, and we've been in touch. So it seems like it'll go smoothly.
All right. Anybody else have anything that you want to talk about? I think we're good then. So can I have a motion to adjourn? That was a quick and easy one.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
There you have it.
Aye.
All right, everybody. Thank you very much. Have a good night.
Thank you. You too.
Thanks. Good night.